Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, hello, hello. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. A moment ago, YouTube was telling me my internet connection was not strong enough, but now it's saying it's fine. So let's hope that keeps going that way. This is going to be a group energy healing where I heal 130 people in 12 different countries. And we're going to do a lot of fundamentals in the start, the 4 essentials, to get you present and safe and flowing. And then we will work on the theme, which is dream big and focus. And this is a set of 3 healings, the February 2023 triplet set. This is the first in the set of 3 healings. And then there's going to be a set of 2 healings later this month called the twin set. And that one's going to have the same theme. We're going to just keep working it in different new and exciting ways. Dream big and focus. I mean, there's so much I can do with that. So I'm glad the angels encouraged me to have a whole month on it. Let's see, I'm not getting any confirmations yet. So I hope that changes soon. Let me know. Oh gosh, I got one. Thank you, that helps. All right, I know my flexible start time is probably a little weird for people. Okay, good. I got a can see and hear you with beautiful flower emojis, thank you. And I got a hi from Chicago with some weather report emojis. Rainbows and snowmen and seashells. Can see and hear you. Good, good, good. All right. So as I was saying, dream big and focus. So much cool stuff you could do with that, with energy healing. So I'm excited. And some of what we're going to do, I'm going to just do kind of a high level overview, not like literal overview, because later there will be a healing summary in the comment section that is very detailed, that has timestamp links within a day of this live stream. But high level overview of what we're doing. Once we do the 4 essentials, which are really important, then we're gonna do something to help you hear your angels better with less distortion, and also hear loved ones better with less distortion. And we're going to do something with clearing bottled up anger, repressed, triggered anger, because that can really kind of lock up somebody's energy a lot, and then they can't dream big. So we're going to do something with clearing anger. We're going to do something with fun, like your ability to have fun and enjoy yourself. That one's going to be cool. We're going to do something extra about dreaming big and being able to kind of see, so clairvoyance, conscious clairvoyance, but also subconscious clairvoyance. Because dreaming big is a bit of like playing out future scenarios and seeing which one you like better. So being able to see that, at least on a subconscious level, is good. And so we will be working that. And also your 7th to 8th connection between you and your higher self. We're going to unblock that, but also clear out some distortion. So that in case, like your higher self is saying, you could do twice that much, and you're not hearing it right, We're going to do something today and probably many times this month about downsizing. Like, you can have people in your life that try to downsize what you're doing and creating. So if you want to dream big, that's something that we'll look for and clear out, is stuff in your space from people who have tried to downsize you. But also, like, your own baggage and old trauma can be downsizing you. So That'll be interesting. And the whole downsizing people, like why are they downsizing you, and helping them to clear their baggage, because otherwise, you get rid of their energy in your space that has been downsizing you. I mean, if you don't do something to address their issues, I mean, you don't have to, but it's sort of more comfortable for you if you do. So we're going, because then, they don't give you as much grief. I mean, the idea with energy work, though, is not to make everyone around you happy and stable. I do want to emphasize that. The idea is to make yourself happy and stable. Because everyone around you, I mean, they're different ages spiritually, and it may just not be part of their path in this lifetime to, they may not really be open to change. And so if you sit around going, oh, gee, if just everyone in my life was happy with me and stable and safe and in their own lives, then I'll be happy, It's like you may as well just give up now. So the idea with energy work and strong boundaries work is that you're going to be safe and happy. You're going to work on your boundaries so that, So that's 99% of what we're doing today. And then the 1%, we will do flower healing for those downsizing people in your life to help them get over themselves and stop trying to downsize you. But again, if that's your emphasis, you'll never get anywhere. But we will do some flower healing for downsizing people, just because that's kind of interesting too. To see changes in people around you is interesting and cool, but like I said, it's not something you can count on at all. Don't hold your breath on that one. All right, I'm going to catch up on some comments and then we'll get going. Well, then I'll do 3 minutes of quiet time and then we'll start the healing. And for those of you that don't know, I'm a healer and a reader and a teacher, of course. And so when I'm doing the healing, I'll be explaining as I go. My emphasis is on doing my best job as a healer, but also I want to have it be like a walkthrough so that anybody, at any level of skill can at least get value by healing themselves as they're following along. So there's that. Okay. Hey Janet, we can see and hear you in cold Chicago, 11 degrees Fahrenheit. 11 degrees Fahrenheit. So for the centigrade people, that is way below freezing. Hello from cold, wet Portland with a sad face. Oh, I'm so sorry. How cold though in Portland? That's what I want to know. Because sometimes perception and like just the facts are different. Like right now, it's probably mid 30s for us right now in Olympia, Washington, which is about, I don't know, with traffic, maybe it's 2 hours north of Portland, but it's really not that far from Portland. It's just more of a traffic issue, I think. But anyway, yeah, here it's like maybe mid 30s by now in the day, but it doesn't feel that cold to me. But I wear like a billion layers, like even indoors. And then when I go, like this is my indoor scarf. And then I put a hoodie on and an outdoor scarf over all that when I go outside. And it's like a really thick weight hoodie, so I'm pretty hardcore on the layers. Someone says, "Hey Janet, I can see and hear you. 54 degrees Fahrenheit." Well, thank you. No location though. I'm trying to remember. Maybe Nevada or somewhere, or Colorado. I'm not sure. Don't remember. Someone says, "Can see and hear you from Evergreen, Colorado. 48 degrees and cloudy." And showing me a frog and an avocado and a whole bunch of different emojis. How about that? 45 degrees and cloudy. That's not so bad for early February, I guess, right? Las Vegas. Oh, I see. Yeah, Las Vegas. 54 in Las Vegas right now. 54. That's nice. I could handle 54 for sure. So it says Kansas City, Burr, 22 degrees. So definitely below freezing in Kansas City. So sorry. So it says, I needed to hear that about making everyone around me safe and stable. Yeah. Yeah, that is not the plan. It's just not a workable plan. I've never met somebody that really worked for. I think because the universe and your angels and it's part of spiritual growth to learn boundaries. So even if by some miracle you were able to make the people around you calm and stable, the universe would send you more unstable people just to force you to learn boundaries. Someone says hello from New York. Hello to you. Oh wow. Hello, hello. Someone says it's negative 18 degrees in Toronto, but my conversion says 0 Fahrenheit. Is that right? That could be right. So 0 Fahrenheit, that's like so much below zero. Wow. Thank you for converting. That's so nice. 21 degrees Fahrenheit in New York. New York. Is that New York City or New York State? Because New York State is so long. I was born in New York State. About an hour north of New York City. But it goes like, you could go like 4 hours of New York, 4 hours north of New York City. And there's still more up there. Someone says, hi, Janet, can see and hear you. Hello to you. So this is fun. Hi, everybody. I hope your year is going okay so far. And if it's not, don't freak out. You can always turn it around. My January last year, 2022, was pretty hardcore. We like lost our plumbing. We had like this giant septic field issue. Could have been worse, I guess. Can always be worse than septic field issues. But like, you know, where your plumbing goes into a septic field in the backyard and like the drain field pipes. There are these two drain field pipes where it leaches the water and stuff goes into the ground, and nearby trees, which are like all around that area, giant trees, their roots had gone into the pipes and blocked them all up. So then our whole septic system wasn't working. So for like the second half of January, I couldn't flush a toilet. I had to we could only like trickle the water from a sink, to like, so like I was like using wood chip bucket for the restroom. I mean, it was really very intense. Like past lifey, but not in a good way. So modern plumbing is really fantastic, I gotta say. So anyway, so that was January 2022, but the year in and of itself was a great year. It was a really hardcore way to start the year. So I was very relieved when we got through this January without any plumbing dramas. I was like, whew. So let's hear it for modern plumbing. Woohoo! Yay! Someone says negative 15 centigrade in Skillfree, Sweden? No idea. Skellfree? I don't know how to say it. Wish I did. Sweden. Well, hello. Hello from Lake Worth Beach, Florida. I bet it's nice and warm there. Although you're not saying, maybe you don't want to make us all jealous. Thank you for teaching us today. And someone says, my brain is cloudy, needs some healing. Yes. Specifically creative ring repair. Pay attention on that part. That's mostly why your brain is cloudy. Your creative rings are all shattered. So, but that is part of the 4 essentials, which we will be doing right at the start of the healing. Like the first half hour of the healing basically is the 4 essentials. And that's to get people basically a-okay. And then we'll do fine-tuning theme kind of stuff. All right. So now I will, I'm going to do my country count of people that I'm healing. 86 degrees in Lake Worth, Florida. Dang. Isn't that nice? 86 though. That's a bit hot. Like, I prefer more like 70s and low 80s, maybe. 86 is a bit too warm. But that's interesting because it's only February. And then before that, hi Janet, hello from Phoenix, Arizona. Here, 70 degrees here. That is, see that I like that temperature. 70 degrees is nice. Should get outside when I get time. Yes, you should. That's nice. Nice 70-degree day. You'll be missing that in August. Alrighty. Fun times with little weather reports. But overall, though, I'm very grateful for the winter that we've had so far, knock on wood. It's been very relatively low drama for us here. A lot of people in the US have been having a lot of weather drama. I suppose all over the world, but I'm not aware as much of weather all over the world. But you can let me know. All my listeners in other countries. Okay. So 130 people in 12 different countries is who I'm going to be healing, including 13 kids. How cute is that? Ages 3 to 17. And of those 130 people, 98 of them are in the US, 7 are in Qatar, 5 are in the UK, 4 are in Canada, 3 are in Ukraine, 3 in United Arab Emirates, 2 in Luxembourg, 2 in Spain, 2 in South Korea, 2 in Bermuda, 1 in Germany, and 1 in India. So hello to all the people that I will be healing. And hello to all the people that did not purchase this set 2 months ago when it was on sale and therefore are just watching and healing themselves, which is wonderful as well. Okay. And the next time healing sets of healings go on sale is on the 15th, of course, February 15th, when the April healings go up for sale. That's like so weird to think that April's in 2 months. So this is towards the end of winter, guys. We're making it. We're getting there. Alrighty. Okay. So now I will finally be quiet, so we can all enjoy some peace and quiet for a few minutes. Hope you like it too. During the peace and quiet, I'll be finishing my prep and also saying hello telepathically to the 130 people I'm about to heal, and also starting the healing. I'll start the healing in silence, so I can make sure my focus is as deep as I need it to be. And then after that, after about the 3 minutes of quiet, I'll start talking, and the rest is a walkthrough. And then we'll have a little discussion at the end. Short discussion at the end. All right. Thank you for your patience with my quiet time. Roughly 3 minutes of quiet. All right, thanks for waiting. So when you heal yourself, you can use a copy out in front of you. That's what I'm doing. It's a nice way to do it. And use your hands. They generate a lot of gold light, so it's a good way to accelerate your work, healing and repairing and unblocking. Also, the more you practice as you comb through your energy system, you can feel, like as a physical thing, blocks. And also it can sort of be an intuitive aid as you're running your hands through a part of your energy system, like a copy of that part of your energy system. It can help your intuition just to know what it is that's blocking things up or what's going on. So anyway, so the copy out in front of you can be just one small, like your ankle that you're healing, or it can be your entire energy system all at once. So if it's your entire energy system all at once, it would be your 17 auras, your astral body aura, your physical body aura, and your 15 Wei Chi auras, W-E-I-C-H-I, Wei Chi auras, that help with strong boundaries. So your 17 auras, your physical body and your astral body are inside that, and both your groundings, your physical body and your astral body grounding, they connect you to the core of the earth. So you just comb through. Your hands generate a lot of energy because you have a big energy center in the palm of each hand and also one in each fingertip. And you can set those chakras, round openings, set those chakras to be a metallic gold color like this glitter, and that would allow you to generate energy at that color, at that vibration of metallic gold, which is nice. It's not too fast, but it is pretty fast moving, so it's good for healing and unblocking and repairing. So the first of the 4 essentials that we'll do is grounding. Grounding. So you could recreate your grounding, just destroy the old one, make a big brand new one as wide as your whole aura. So as wide as the heel of the palm of your hand if you stretch out your arms, roughly. And make your grounding red or orange or yellow, whatever you prefer at the moment, and make it wide. So have it go behind you, in front of you, to each side. And then you make a copy of that grounding up in front of you and comb through it with the gold light. And just stack up any blocks and melt them all at once with the gold light. And ideally, you want your grounding to be very fast moving, like a big, giant, wide waterfall going down with a lot of force. Because you want to be able to release as much as you need to at any time. It's also good to check your grounding, of course, first thing in the morning, but also throughout the day. A lot of people, their grounding blocks up like in the middle of the day or towards the afternoon, maybe towards the evening. So little periodic grounding checks could really be nice. All right, so that's just grounding and blocking. So then indie grounding is related to that. That's where you check the sides of the grounding all the way down, and you use gold light to melt away any attachments or anything sticking out of your grounding. Your grounding could link up to somebody else's grounding, but that messes up your grounding and theirs, so that's not good. So just use gold light and melt away anything that's connected at the edge of your groundings. Even if you have young kids, it's better for them to have their own grounding that does not connect to your grounding. People have a first chakra cord to their kids, which is productive and beneficial, but a grounding connection is not productive or beneficial. So this is indie grounding. And you may have some people that keep trying to reconnect to your grounding and just say, hey, go check your grounding, go take a deep breath. Ask your angels for help with your grounding. All right, so that's indie grounding. So then aura repair for your 17 auras. So as I said, you have 17 auras, even though a lot of people don't really think about that. It's still true. They're all pretty much in the same place if you're reasonably present. So it could look like one big bubble, even though it's 17 bubbles in the same place. So you can have different little rips or different blocks in each one. Sometimes giant rips or giant blocks. So we don't want that. So first you can just do a general comb through of all your 17 auras. And think about melting the big blocks with gold light. And you want to do what's healthy and gentle to do right now. But that could still be a lot. But it's nice to have that intention that you're doing what is healthy and gentle. Should do right now. Oh, right. So that's just a general combing through and unblocking of all your 17 auras. So then now let's do the repair. So you could repair like sort of here and there and here and there just with your intuition and your vision. But I'm going to repair all the rips all at once, which you can do too. You just imagine a copy of a composite copy rip, one rip, and with your intention, you have it represent all the rips in your 17 auras that are healthy and gentle to repair right now. So imagine your one composite copy rip that represents all your rips that are healthy and gentle to repair right now, and then you clean it out with lots of gold light. And you can use sticky gold wax to make sure it's all cleaned out. That's gold light from your hands, which hardens and sticks to everything that's not you, so then you can remove it as a big chunk. So fill it up with sticky gold wax, have it stick to all the junk as one big lump, and then remove all the junk all at once. Angels, here you go. So again, fill up this composite copy rip with sticky gold wax, have it stick to everything that's not you, and remove all that as a big lump. Angels, here you go. And then use gold light. Now that it's nice and clean, the gold should make good contact with the rip and mend it up. Should grow back. And we'll do it again in case you have one or two rips that are still there. So make a composite copy rip to represent any remaining rips that you still have that are really good to repair right now. And then use sticky gold wax, fill it up, remove the junk. Angels, here you go. Again, fill it up with sticky gold wax, have it stick to the junk, remove that as a lump. Angels, here you go. And just use gold light to repair these remaining rips. Okay, so that was aura repair. We're going to do a couple other things that are related to it, but that was aura repair, repairing the ribs. Okay, so now we're going to melt away aura scarring and bruising, which we usually do, but before that I want to do gold netting, collapsing gold nets. I want to do that first. So collapsing gold nets is a way to get rid of a lot of junk, including, and maybe even especially, invasive beings. So you're a giant being, but there are little pesky invasive beings that can just mess with everything. And you just want to get rid of them. Kind of like house cleaning. You know, you get rid of the dust and the dirt. That's the same thing here. So you just imagine all your 17 auras and your groundings and your physical body and your astral body are in there, and make a big cube of gold netting that's bigger than all that, all the way down beneath the core of the earth and above you and around you, and collapse the nets in to catch up all the invasive beings and get rid of them. So collapse the netting in to catch up all the invasive beings, etc. Hard objects, energy blocks you want to get rid of, invasive people you want to get rid of out of your space. Just catch that all up in the gold netting and drag it out and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. And just breathe a couple times into all your major joints. And one more time. Imagine your whole energy system and a big cube of gold netting that's bigger than that. And then collapse that in and catch up all the invasive beings, people, objects, energy blocks, etc. Drag that out. Angels, here you go. A couple deep breaths into all your major joints and chakras and energy channels. Okay, and so now, so that was gold nets, and then collapsing gold nets, and then we'll do, you can have leftover hard parts, hard places in the edge of your aura, which I call aura scarring, or in some of the inner layers, somewhere, a couple layers at once, a certain patch of aura bruising. So let's just put copies of all the scarring and all the aura bruising in one big pile, and so you can melt it all at once. So make a big pile of all your aura scarring and all your aura bruising, and just melt it away with gold light and take your time. And once you melt that, just put out more piles of any remaining aura scarring and aura bruising that are good to melt right now, and just melt those down. With the gold light. All right, so that was melting aura scarring and aura bruising. So now we can do sticky gold wax to get rid of all the hard objects. As many as you're ready to get rid of, even like inner ones, like in the back of your shoulders maybe, or the front of your belly or something. So sticky gold wax, everything. The edges of all your auras, the edges of your groundings, inside, all the meridians, all the energy channels, all the chakras. You want the sticky gold wax to stick to anything that you want to get rid of. Energy blocks, people, invasive beings, but also hard objects. You know, things that people have thrown at you subconsciously. So just have the sticky gold wax stick to all that junk, especially the hard objects, and move the wax and all that junk all at once and give it to your angels. Move it out. Angels, here you go. And just use gold light everywhere to mend up any holes that are left as you've removed all that junk. Just use gold light to finish your repair. And then we'll do sticky gold wax one more time. Have it stick to everything that you want to get rid of, especially the hard objects. And move the hard objects and the wax out all together as a lump. Move it out. Angel, here you go. And again, use gold light, especially around the edges of your auras, to finish your repair. Make sure you don't have any leaks. And gold light everywhere, especially anywhere that you have a leak. All right, a couple deep breaths. To redo your gold buffer zones. Gold buffer zones, I will put a reference video in the comment section about those. They slow the rate of aura damage if you make fresh ones often enough. And it's easy to do once you learn. So that video will be in the comment section about gold buffer zones. So now, creative ring repair. If you have brain fog, if you have trouble waking up, part of what's going on, or maybe a major part of what's going on, would be creative ring damage. So we're going to repair and unblock creative rings and melt cords from them. Help them to just relax, and that's very important for focus, but it's important for life. So we always do it. So creative ring repair and unblocking. Creative rings are a pure 3 gold rings, 1, 2, 3, and they come and go as part of your astral body energy system with you as a spirit. So go ahead and make copies of your 3 gold creative rings out in front of you. It can be a mini copy, it can be a giant copy, whatever helps you to imagine it. And just use lots of gold light and melt away cords going into them. And you can bring up like a purple earth energy just for your creative rings. Purple earth energy would be way too fast moving for most of your energy system, but for your creative rings, that's fine. Because usually they're at a gold, your creative rings, so a little purple earth energy is fine for your creative rings. So you bring it up, direct into your copy from the core of the earth. Some purple earth energy just for fun, and then gold light. Again, you want to melt cords going into these creative rings. And you want the flaps to relax from your creative rings. I gotta get my diagram. Alright, you want your flaps to relax. So this is a drawing of when the flaps are not relaxed, because that's when they're really noticeable. They stick out. So if you were to look top down at your creative rings with the flaps open, they would look like that. See all those flaps sticking out? And so you don't want it to look that way, although that might be a common way it looks. But the more you ground these rings and heal them and repair them and melt away cords going into them, the flaps relax and they fall shut. So then it just looks like a ring because they fall shut, and so the side surface is really smooth after that. And all your chakra openings have flaps too. And you want those, same thing, you want those to relax and fall shut as well. So that the round openings allow your energy to flow in and out, but the flaps around the round openings aren't open, so it's therefore much harder for people to cord your chakra. So, again, creative ring repair with gold light. Sometimes the damage looks like, the whole thing is crumbled. Like if you crumble a cookie, like you punch a cookie and it just goes, shatters everywhere. That could look like how your creative rings look. Or sometimes they're just cracks here and there. So we don't want any of that. You can have scratches too. So just use gold light and heal all the scratches and the cracks and everything. And heal the undersides of the creative rings too. You can spin around your copy if you want, turn it upside down to get to the cracks, but you don't have to. Either way. You can have energy that's kind of smushing your creative rings, like around it, around the outside of them, like a big cylinder just cramping the rings in, so you could just melt that away. Because the creative rings, they pretty much send energy downward to your chakras, but you still don't want anything just wrapped around the creative rings, crunching them inward. All right, cool. So then chakra, so that was creative ring repair. We didn't really do much unblocking. Yeah, let's do more unblocking. We'll unblock the creative rings and all the 7 chakras all at once. All the major chakras, 7 astral and 7 physical. So you have a copy out in front of you. Just make a copy of your creative rings, 3 gold rings, and then all your chakras, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there's actually 2 sets of 7 chakras, and if you're fully present, they fit inside each other. So your creative rings, and then 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Each one is shaped like a round open cylinder. The 7th is oriented this way, with round opening in the top and the bottom. And then 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 are oriented this way. I don't want to spill my tea. But with the round opening in the front and the round opening in the back. So anyway, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you have your Kundalini chakra of your physical body beneath that. And your creative rings are above there. And I just sticky gold wax the whole thing. And move the wax and the blocks out and give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. So again, sticky gold wax the whole thing, creative rings all around them, inside them, and all the chakras, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Move out the blocks and the wax together. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. A couple deep breaths into your legs and your hips and your shoulders. All right, so that was some chakra unblocking along with the creative ring unblocking. Now we will do chakra repair and more chakra unblocking. So when we do that, we're going to use composite copy technique, so it's easy enough to repair and unblock all the chakras all at once. All your major chakras, the 7 physical, 7 astral, that are along your spine, but also the minor chakras. And most of those are the acupuncture points in the physical body, but you do have some other extra chakras, like you have energy channels like down your shoulders, your arms, and up your legs. And so you have some energy, some chakras in there to keep the energy flowing. That's part of what chakras do, is they just keep them flowing. They're little motors. They generate energy, literally creating energy if they're functioning properly, but they also keep the flow going, keep everything moving in your energy channels and in your aura. So let's repair and unblock them all at once. And milk cords, going into them, of course. So all chakras pretty much have that basic open cylinder shape. So although some of them are kind of smushed, if, like the one that has to fit into the palm of your hand is not like really long. Like your fourth chakra can be a little longer, right? Because it's from the front to the back of your chest right there in the center. So that one's longer than your hand chakra, right? Round opening, round opening. It's kind of squat, but it still works. So anyway, you make one copy that looks like an open cylinder that represents all your major and minor chakras, and you use gold light to melt the cords going into it and repair. So this composite copy chakra that you're repairing and healing and unblocking represents, just with your intention, have it represent all your major and minor chakras. And keep melting those cords and repairing with gold light and unblocking. And then lift out any energy blocks that you're ready to get rid of, that are healthy and gentle to get rid of. Just lift them out, and you could blow them up if you're healing yourself. You can melt them with gold light. Any left over, just hand them to your angels. Angels, here you go. Again, lift out any energy blocks you want to get rid of. Hand them to your angels. Angels, here you go. And you can also think about the theme, dream big and focus. So you can have energy blocks, absolutely, that are in the way of those things. So any downsizing energy blocks, I was talking about that momentarily in the intro, that you can have energy within you, either it's your own trauma and baggage or it's given to you from someone else, that downsizes you, that makes you not dream big, that makes you either not dream at all or think in a very smaller scale than is necessary for you or even optimal for you, right? So let's get rid of that stuff. So go ahead and clear out of your chakras any energy that you're ready to get rid of, that's healthy and gentle to get rid of, that's in the way of you dreaming big and or in the way of you having focus. So lift all that out. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Couple deep breaths. Okay, lift out the blocks in the way of you dreaming big and having focus. Lift those out. Angels, here you go. Alrighty. Again, lift out energy blocks from your chakras that are in the way of you dreaming big and focusing. Lift those out. Angels, here you go. A lot of extra gold light. Again, melt cords. I would say only keep the cord, first chakra, physical first chakra cord between, if you are the parent of a young child. Young meaning 13 or younger. You keep that one cord, but other cords you can melt them all. All right, good. So that was chakra repair and unblocking and melting cords, and also unblocking in general, and also for the theme of creating, dreaming big and focusing. So that concludes the 4 essentials that are always good to. And again, you don't have to do, it probably took, it took 22 minutes for me to go through all that, but I'm healing a lot of people at once and I'm explaining as I go. So even if you went through all 4 of those 4 essentials on yourself, you could do it in shorter than 22 minutes. If you just, memorize the process and just kind of do it. But also you could use your intuition and see like how much do I need work on my grounding, and just do as much as you need. And then how much work do you need on aura repair, and do that. And, like for example, if you only have a minute, maybe your grounding's already fine and your aura repair is already fine, but your creative rings are like, the flaps are wide open because you have too many cords. So then that's your focus for a 1 minute. Maybe your chakras are already undamaged, so you get your creative rings together, and then maybe a little extra unblocking everywhere just with the extra 20 seconds. So I would encourage you to just try to learn the 4 essentials to that point where you just know it like the back of your hand, as they say. So you can just kind of go through with your intuition and figure out what's not quite right, if you don't feel good at some point in your day. Oh, right. So that's that. There are some other things that I had thought of that I think will help get you most ready for the theme. So they're kind of good for a whole bunch of things, and we'll do those first. There's 3 things: unblocking hips and shoulders, unblocking and repairing good karma windows, which are little places in the back of your aura layers, behind the base of your skull and your neck, and that helps with focus too. And unblocking above the head and above the top of the aura even, and that helps with you being able to create and being able to dream and imagine and do things on a bigger scale, because it's like liberating to have a lot of good flow above there. So those 3 things: unblocking hips and shoulders, good karma windows, and unblocking above the head and the top of the aura. So we'll do those 3 things now, and I'll try to be fast with them. So that was explaining, and then now we will do... Okay, so for unblocking hips and shoulders, you imagine a copy of yourself, and we're unblocking around and inside the hips and the shoulders. So around on both sides and inside your hips, and around and outside your shoulders. Inside your shoulders and outside your shoulders. Outside meaning in your auras, your 17 auras all around that area. So you can imagine it this way if you want, or however perspective works best for you. And just imagine those blocks and just use lots of gold light. If you imagine your hips and your shoulders at the same time, at least for me, it's easier to see more of the blocks, because a lot of these like really major blocks affect both the hips and the shoulders at the same time. It's like they're I don't know why that is, but it just is. So just melt them with gold light. Or you can just lift them out and give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. Lift out more hips and shoulders blocks, give them to your angels. Again, you want to get rid of anything that kind of binds you and compresses you. You want to, for dreaming big, you have to be able to, feel like you can it can spread out. So, not like 20 miles out, but just, you know, within yourself. Like, you don't want to feel like you're imploding. So, a lot of these blocks are pretty old. They've been there for decades, perhaps lifetimes. So, you know, just let the gold light do the work. Keep breathing. Want to do as much as is healthy and gentle to do right now. All right, so that was unblocking within and around hips and shoulders. So then, good karma windows. They're in the back here. They look like literal windows, like with a triple frame. And when they are repaired and unblocked and flowing, then you don't have external energy like jamming through them and you know, like causing pain and stress and tension. So then you as a spirit can be here, which is really fantastic for like mental focus and you know, feeling stronger and being more assertive in your life, like self-assertive, like getting stuff done. Good stuff. So you can just imagine this whole area here, and all your good karma windows, and just use gold light and repair any parts that are broken with gold light. And lift out anything that doesn't belong there. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Lift out the junk. Angels, here you go. Could be invasive beings, invasive people, hard objects that were thrown in this area. Just lift all that out. Angels, here you go. You can freeze the invasive beings and the invasive people's energy. Just freeze them as like ice cubes and just lift them out. Angels, here you go. So again, we're doing the good karma windows area back here behind the base of the skull and the neck. And just, you can use sticky gold wax. Have the wax harden and stick to anything that's not you. Lift all that out. Angels, here you go. And if you want to do any sort of physical massage as you work, that's fine too. So sticky gold wax the whole thing. Also, you could sticky gold wax the meridians in the back of your head. There are a lot of them. So the back of your head and upper shoulders, the back of your shoulders, top of your shoulders. So you can sticky gold wax all those little dots on the diagram. Those are small chakras within those energy meridians. I call them minor chakras, acupuncture points. So lots of sticky gold wax on all those acupuncture points to get rid of the energy blocks that are healthy and gentle to get rid of, and sticky gold wax your whole good karma windows area, and lift out all the junk at once. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Deep breath into that whole area. Again, sticky gold wax, even the top of your head, because you have that GV20 point right at the top of your head. The GV one is the one that goes up the midline right there and goes around here to the roof of your mouth. So GV20, I don't know that you can see the top there, that point right at the top. So it's like a GV is like a red tube, and you want that GV20 to be repaired and unblocked. So that GV20 is oriented this way because the energy is coming up the back of your head and going through it and then going back down. So anyway, sticky gold wax, all those back of head and shoulder, side of head energy points. and your big karma windows area, sticky decks, all that. Just lift all the junk out. Angels, here you go. Wow. So then repair everything. The back of head, side of head meridians, just repair, repair. Gold light will do the trick there. And then repair the back here, all your good karma windows in the back of your aura. All right, good. So that was good karma window work plus back of head and shoulders points, including GV20 for governing vessel number 20, that the point, it's probably right about there somewhere. Right in the crown of your head right there. Okay, so there's that. Now we will unblock above the head and above the top of the aura. So if you look on AccuDoll here, so the top of the aura is probably right about here. So this space right in here, and also even above it too, because you can get like a big pile up above as well, like energy blocks. Because you're trying to bring new energy in this way, and when you wake up in the morning, you're coming this way, and so any energy blocks here really get in the way of you bringing in all your good new ideas and inspiration. And so just imagine your head, the top of your head, and then all above that. And imagine the blocks and just melt them away with gold light. And you can have those downsizing energy blocks here, maybe just in general, from like like, you know, how do people compete with each other on this planet? How do humans compete with each other? Sometimes it's on an individual level, like maybe your sibling feels competitive towards you, and so dumps on you up here, downsizing energy blocks. But sometimes, humans, they get all turfy and they compete based on what country you live in. So maybe, there's all this energy within, for example, the Chinese government that is dumping energy blocks on up here of the American citizens, or whatever countries hate each other. It's not always like the people doing it, though. It could just be like control energies tend to like get attracted to people in power, and so the governments might sort of channel that towards the nation or the other government or all the people in that nation. So whatever, you don't have to worry about it, but just melt away. Because you could have too been, it could be a past life thing where you were part of some tribe that was, dumped on by some other tribe, So whatever, just imagine above your head and above, also in your seventh chakra too, which is in the top of your head there. Just imagine melting away any sort of downsizing energy that you might have, but also above your head and above the top of your aura. Ah. So that last part, that was nice. So that was including national, sort of energy blocks. But that was, we melted away downsizing energy blocks. Okay, so that was all three things I wanted us to do. Hips and shoulders, good karma windows, plus acupuncture points in the back of the head and the shoulders. And then unblocking the seventh chakra and above the head and above the top of the aura. Especially to get rid of downsizing energy blocks, because the theme is dream big and also focus. So good job, guys. Okay, so I briefly mentioned in the intro, you can have distortion energy blocks that get in the way of you hearing your angels accurately, hearing your higher self, messages from your higher self accurately, hearing your loved ones accurately. Sometimes when people are, overly defensive, they can have this type of distortion. So someone might say something that is actually pretty harmless, but you don't hear it as something harmless, like, because you have this distortion within you and you honestly think someone just said something pretty offensive, even though they didn't. But the way, by the time it gets through those distortion blocks, what you're hearing is pretty rude, what they just said, but it's not really, So it's good to get rid of that stuff, right? So you definitely want to be able to hear your angels more and more accurately. That's literally priceless. But also, it can help you get into less arguments. And just, not take things so personally all the time, which would come in handy, I'm sure. Okay, and don't forget your proper hydration, healthy beverages. So, okay. Oh yeah. You can also have distortion blocks between you and your body. So you as a spirit and your body. And a common one actually is hydration. Like I read somewhere, and it actually looks true, that when people actually are conscious of their being thirsty, you're actually like pretty dehydrated already, to be able to be conscious of, like, oh gee, I'm really thirsty. And what I read is that sometimes people misinterpret their body's thirst as hunger. And so they might overeat or snack when they don't really need to because they're actually thirsty, but they're mishearing the impulse from their body. Also, you could just be nervous about something and you're misinterpreting that as a hunger, a genuine hunger, and you might snack or overeat because of that. So it's a distortion, the fear or whatever is getting in the way of you accurately perceiving what you truly need, what your body needs. But when in doubt, drink a lot of water or herbal tea or something, because apparently there's we're supposed to drink so much. It's crazy. I'm a little behind. Okay. So it's easy to clear this stuff, though, fortunately. It always takes longer to explain than to do. So now we will do. So just imagine the distortion energy blocks in between you and your angels. So like imagine a copy of yourself and then your angels, just imagine them standing in a nice little row. And then, so they're saying stuff and you can imagine their communication coming to you as like a gold light. But then like you can imagine them like walls out in front of you, in between you and your angels, or like pillows or fog or something, or a curtain, something that either completely blocks what they're saying so you don't even hear it on any level, or it distorts it so you hear it as a criticism, whereas there was no judgment in it whatsoever. So just imagine whatever's between you and your angels that's distorting or impairing your ability to hear them clearly and accurately, and just melt all that junk. So I call these distortion blocks, but you know, for short. Just melt all this junk in the way. Okay, so that's melting distortion blocks. We're going to do that a little more, but there's something very related to that, which is beings. You could have invasive beings in the way. That, like, say your angels are telling you, you know, time to go to bed, and you have some invasive being that is not in favor of you doing healthy things, and that invasive being might be like, hey, have some wine, you know, stay up late, it's Friday, who cares, you know, or whatever. And you know, so you don't want, I mean, your angels always have your best interests at heart. They want you to be as healthy and as happy as you can possibly be, and as fulfilled as you can possibly be. So you don't want anything interfering with you hearing what they're saying to you, even subconsciously. So again, just imagine you, and imagine, you know, a nice little row of your angels and your spirit guide, and then any beings in the way of that. You can imagine like big clouds, or sometimes they pretend like they're angels, but they're not. So just imagine like your angels, but then imagine like the row of fakers, you know, like any fake angels in the way. And just, you know, say, angels, can you recycle all these, you know, fakers? And just let your angels do the work. So again, imagine you, and imagine a nice row of your angels, and then if there's anything in between you and your angels, maybe it's, well, let's imagine the beings. If there are any invasive beings in between you and your angels, just imagine them like clouds, or you can see the little spirits or whatever, however, like a mud maybe, whatever you want to imagine it as, and just be like, angels, can you recycle all this? So you don't have to really do anything with them, just point and say, angels. And they'll clear them out for you permanently. Okay, so then we will also do, again, the distortion blocks now that we got the invasive beings out of the way. So imagine you, and then your angels in a nice little row with your spirit guide, and then imagine anything, their communication coming to you as like a gold light, and anything that blocks or distorts that communication from getting to you, just imagine all that and just melt it away with gold light. Could look like curtains or a brick wall or pillows or fog. And anything that doesn't clear that's still there, just say, angels, can you help me with this? Can you help me clear this? Okay, good. So that was clearing distortion blocks between you and your angels, but also clearing any invasive beings too that are contributing to you not hearing your angels accurately. Okay, and so now we will do that for loved ones and also for your body, your physical body. So imagine you and say different people you know in your life, like maybe the people you're really close to, then like coworkers and stuff, and then neighbors, and just imagine any distortion, like, so, because you want to be able to perceive what they're communicating really accurately, and sometimes the distortions can be like what you wish they would be like, or what you're afraid they're going to be like, or, you know, there's all sorts of deeper reasons why you might have distortions and not be perceiving their communications accurately, right? So you're not going to actually do anything to all those people. but you just want to imagine them so that you can imagine any distortions within yourself that trigger when they're communicating towards you. So there's you, there's close loved ones, family members, coworkers, neighbors, friends, and just imagine what distortions do you have that block you from accurately perceiving the situations, accurately hearing their communication. Just imagine those inner distortions that you have and melt them away. So again, and just center yourself, maybe like reground, recreate your grounding, red or orange or yellow, nice and big and wide all the way down. Double check your grounding. You can comb through it all the way down to the core of the earth. Make sure you have real good flow. Melt away the blocks in your groundings. So we'll do that one more time. We're doing the distortion between you and your loved ones for the second time. Loved ones, etc. People that you know, neighbors, friends, etc. So imagine you, and imagine, these people that you know, close, people you're really close to, people you just know, maybe coworkers, family members, and neighbors, etc. And just there's you, and just imagine your inner distortions that block you from perceiving their behavior towards you accurately, perceiving their communication accurately, their intentions accurately. And just use a lot of gold light. And melt away your inner distortions. And if you have any left over that aren't clearing, just surround them in gold light and give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. And just recenter for a little bit. Breathe into all your major joints. Breathe into your hips and your shoulders. All right, so that was the loved ones. That was clearing distortion blocks between you and other people, basically, all other people. And then now we'll do between you and your body. And how this applies to the theme of dreaming big and focusing, part of it is that it saves you a lot of time and energy, like potentially a lot of time and energy in your life if you were to perceive situations more accurately, perceive people, their intentions more accurately. You could dramatize things less. You could process a situation more quickly. It could save you lots of drama, like weeks of drama with somebody, if you could just see where they're coming from more accurately at first. So it's not directly about dreaming big, but it supports dreaming big because it's like an efficiency thing and a low drama thing. Okay, so now we're doing the distortions between you and your body. Clearing them. The distortions that block you from accurately perceiving the needs of your body and receiving the accurate communications from your body. It may seem weird, but sometimes people misinterpret sexual impulses from their body. Like sometimes someone might think their body is sexually aroused or horny, if you're an adult, but or sexually mature. but your body actually isn't horny. Maybe it's tired, or maybe it's anxious, or maybe somebody else is in your space, like, not even a person you think of sexually, but just like a nervous energy, and you're misinterpreting that because there's distortion between you and your body, and so you're thinking that your body is like sexually needy when it's not. And sometimes that can be like weird in a partnership too. If someone has a partner and that partner may be sort of coming across as overly sexually demanding, and really they're misinterpreting their body's need. Their body really needs to release, say, years and years of repressed anger. But instead of doing that, they're misinterpreting that as like a sexual need of their body that's not being fulfilled. So it's like it can really create dramas unnecessarily. So we are also, right after this, we're going to clear pent up anger too, which is related potentially to the distortions between you and your body. But again, like I said, this could, help with overeating or lots of stuff. So there's you as a spirit, and there's your physical body, right? You are not your physical body. When your physical body someday dies, you're not going to die. You're still around. You're going to cross over, go to heaven, and have a nice, delightful vacation that's restorative and fun before your next life. So, anyway, just, even though you're probably very present by now, just imagine separately you and your body. It doesn't mean you have to now separate from your body, but just imagine them separately so that you can imagine the distortions between you and your body. If that helps to do it that way, for me, that's how I'm going to do it. So you just imagine you as a spirit, and then your physical body, and the distortions in between you and your body that make you misinterpret what your body really needs. And just imagine all that as maybe a bunch of walls, or a bunch of curtains, or a bunch of muddiness or cloudiness, and just melt it away with gold light. You can bring up red earth energy and soak it with red earth energy too. All the distortions and gold light. So deep breath. A couple deep breaths. And then again, there's you as an eternal spirit, and then there's your physical body, and just imagine any distortions in between you and your physical body that might cause you to misinterpret what your body needs at any time, or what your body's experiencing. And just bring up red earth energy, soak all those distortion blocks, and lots of gold light, and just melt that stuff away. All the distortion blocks. Okay, cool. So that's melting distortion blocks between you and your body. So we did blocks between you and your angels, blocks between you and other people, including like close loved ones, but also just neighbors or friends or potential friends, and then also between you and your physical body. Okay, great job, guys. Woo woo. So, like I said, let's clear pent up, repressed anger that may or may not be triggered. There was an example in a recent survey of, an argument. Argument is sort of a classic example of like triggered anger, right? And a lot of times someone thinks they're angry about a certain situation, but it's really like a lot of the potency and the strength of that anger is actually old stuff that may have nothing to do with the situation or even the person. So like, Betty Boop's spouse is really mad at her because she doesn't do as much housework as she used to. But really, Betty Boop's husband is kind of like half scared at his mother's health issues and half angry at his dad for not supporting him when he was growing up enough. You know, like it's like pretty complicated stuff. So we are also going to do flower healing for the people that you know, because that's safe and easy to do, and there's no risk. Like it's not like group healing. If you were to heal more than one person at a time, that puts you at a significantly larger level of risk, like spiritually. You have to have totally different level of boundaries. But flower healing is not like that. Flower healing, you just make this nice healing flowers. Your angels check them, make sure they're nice, and you put them at a respectful distance in front of people. You can do that with like pretty much everyone you know all at once, and that's not a group healing because you're not sending energy to them. You're just making these flowers. The angels check them, and you put them at a respectful distance in front, and that doesn't put you at any sort of global risk level that's higher. So we'll do that too. But first we'll clear your own anger, and then we'll do flower healing for others. So that was explaining, and now we will do okay. So your anger, a lot of it can be pent up and very old. So you can imagine it however you want, and then the idea is we're going to melt it with gold light, or you could blow it up, or you could hand it to your angels. One person, I look at her repressed anger, and it looks like ocean waves that are frozen. So it's like this big like ocean with a giant wave, but it's all icy and frozen. And so that's how her repressed anger looks. Somebody else, somebody's dad, his old repressed anger looks like giant refrigerators, like supersized industrial refrigerators. Somebody else, his anger looks like a big like avalanche that's just waiting to tumble, you know, so a big bunch of rocks and stuff. So somebody else, her anger looks like a giant raging forest fire that's about to, you know, burn a whole bunch of things. So it depends on if it's triggered or not, how it's going to look, I guess. But anyway, you want to get rid of any of that, because anger in and of itself is not bad. It's just a communication that you're realizing, oh, someone went over the line with me, you know, that's not cool. You know, but the problem is people tend to not clear it, and so then they get so much that's pent up and built up. So that's the stuff we want to clear, is all this pent up, built up anger. So just imagine your pent up, built up anger, and if you want, you can imagine specifically how it looks, if it looks like rocks or a big frozen wave or a big fire, and just, you can use red earth energy and soak it in red earth energy, soak your pent up anger in red earth energy. You can use orange earth energy too, because orange is a nice color for the second chakra, which is emotional wellness. So you can use orange earth energy and soak your pent up anger in orange earth energy. And then gold light, lots of gold light, and just melt away your pent up, old, built up anger. It doesn't mean you'll suddenly get amnesia, you know, it's just that it kind of liberates you from being really stuck. And it gives you more self-control too, because when you have this level of pent-up anger, it can trigger, and then your judgment is like way off when it's triggered, and you might, you know, get yourself into trouble. Like, you know, unnecessarily start battles with people that it's like does no good at all, and, you know, gets in your way. So again, imagine if you melted already what you imagined, just imagine whatever's still there that is good, healthy, and gentle for you to clear right now. So imagine your pent up anger, whether it's triggered or not right now, just imagine however it looks. And if you don't know how it looks, just imagine it like a big black box or something, or a red box, or yeah, whatever. Just imagine it and melt it away. And you can say, angels, help me melt away my pent-up anger, as you do it. And then, many people are aware of other people in their lives that have a lot of pent-up anger. And so you can just make sort of generic flowers of energy healing, of universal healing energy that is good for people letting go of their pent-up anger in a safe way. So just make those generic letting go of anger flowers of healing energy, and just have the angels double check them, make sure they're good for anybody and they're safe and they don't have your energy in them, right? And then just imagine like all the people that you might want to give flowers to, and just imagine a safe distance in front of their auras. So like maybe 6 feet in front of the edge of their auras. So it's definitely not in their space, right? 6 to 10 feet in front of their auras. And just say, angels, are these okay? And then just lay out little bunches of flowers in front of all those people. And just say, angels, can you double check the flowers? And then you could just say, hi guys, if you want. There are flowers right there. The angels checked them. And then that's it. Just kind of let go of whether they take them, what they do with them, whatever. It's not your energy, so it's fine either way. But if you want, you can just imagine, what happened. But stay present, don't like go into their space. But you can just kind of notice. All right, and then, yeah, I think that's good. So that was helping you to release your anger, your pent-up anger, and then energy healing flowers to help other people release their anger, their pent-up, built-up anger. The sixth layer, sixth chakra, is for clairvoyance and non-judgment. So seeing energy consciously, but also subconsciously. So seeing a solution. Sometimes, if you have an idea, it could be seventh chakra, intuition. It could be fifth chakra, hearing your angels. But it could also be sixth chakra, vision. So you kind of see what you can do. You see a solution. And that could be subconscious, so you don't literally see like, the imagery for it, but you see it on a spirit level and process it. And so it can be fifth, sixth, and seventh, or just one or the other working for that. But so your sixth chakra works with your sixth layer of your aura, which wraps all the way around, right? And so you have a physical body sixth chakra and an astral body sixth chakra. And you have a physical body sixth layer and an astral body sixth layer. And in those 6 layers in the front, the whole layer helps with vision. You want it to be really clear and nice. A nice color for the 6th chakra is like a cobalt blue color, or some kind of deep blue that's, bright, not like black mixed with black or anything. But just like a nice deep blue is nice for the 6th layer, if you want. I have a handout, a free 2-page chakra handout, if you want me to email it to you. It's just like an email attachment, and you can look, and it just has each chakra and what each chakra is good for, and an ideal color and location and blah, blah, blah. You can email me, janet@janetwrightreadings.com, if you need that free 2-page chakra handout. But anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to just clear these screens off that you have in your 6th layer. They're like movie screens. And they help you to see. And so you can have a lot of junk on the screen that, or in front of the screen. It just kind of blocks you from having vision. And the screen that's like directly in front of your 6th chakra, that's for present time viewing. And then you have a screen that's like above that in your 6th layer for future viewing. And so sometimes, you know, dreaming big, you're thinking about scenarios about your future. So you would need both those screens to be nice, ideally. You know, nice meaning unblocked and, you know, usable. You just essentially want flowing, usable space there, right? You don't want a lot of blocks and invasive beings or people or whatever dumped energy there. So we're going to just overall clear your 6th layer out. Both 6 layers, astral body aura 6th layer and physical body aura 6th layer, but especially the front where your present time screen is and your future time screen are, just so that, you know, helping you to dream big, to see the present clearly, and also to, you know, sort of play with different future scenarios, figure out what you like. I will say though that a key part of dreaming big is working with your angels in your sleep too. And then you kind of just remember what your angels figured out with you in your sleep when you're awake. But if, you know, your future time screen is nice and cleared out and usable space right there, it's easier for you to remember and kind of think about, you know, different scenarios. So anyway, so imagine both your 6 layers, both your 6 chakras, right? Open cylinder, round open cylinder, round opening in the front and the back. So you have your 2 6 chakras, which are inside each other if you're reasonably present, and then both 6 layers. And then in the front of that is your future screen and your present time screen. Inside your 6 layers. In the front right there, you got your movie screens. So lots of gold light. You definitely want zero invasive beings in any of this, right? So you could do like, you could freeze them with your intention and just move them out. Angels, here you go. Freeze any invasive beings anywhere in 6 chakras, 6 layers, movie screens, whatever. Freeze all the beings, lift them out. Angels, here you go. Again, freeze all the beings with your intention. Angels, here you go. And then gold light, gold sandstorm. You might like that too. Just to continue to scrub out anything, invasive beings, invasive people, dumped energy. Like sometimes if you were raised by somebody who maybe they're pretty deceptive in their lives, they could dump energy in front of these screens so that you can't accurately see them, or in the attempt to keep you from accurately seeing them. Or if you've ever dated somebody who's particularly deceptive, they could dump a lot in front of these clairvoyant screens. So, but it's easy enough to clear off, so you don't have to worry about it. And sometimes it's nice to know, like, wow, how did that get so blocked? So just lots of gold light. Table. Hold on. Table, baby. Come on, baby. So 6 chakras. Six layers. Especially the very top, very bottom are nice too. And those clairvoyant screens, especially the upper one. And the main one. All right, good job. So that was clearing and unblocking your your clairvoyant screens, and overall unblocking and clearing out your 6 layers of astral and physical body auras and your sixth chakras. So clairvoyance and non-judgment. So screens, layers, and we just froze the beings like ice cubes and handed them to the angels. Oh, right, good job. Woo, 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 woo. So, let's see. Oh, yeah. You know, I was going to do something about fun and helping your ability to have fun, but we're going to do something that supports that today. And then in the next healing, we'll do something like directly about your ability to have fun. But the supporting thing that the angels want me to do before that is something to get back innocence energy. Calling back innocence energy. Yeah. So we can just do that with a big gold sun, like a magnet, you know? So create a gold sun that you're going to use like a magnet to call back your innocence energy. Innocence energy, oftentimes little kids have it, but not always, depending on the childhood. But you may have lost it during some kind of stressful period in this life or some other life. So you can just call it back pretty easily. So just make a big gold magnet of whatever shape you like, but it could look like a gold sun. And just call back your innocence energy into the gold sun and have it fill up. You can have it expand as it calls back more innocence energy. And then you can just say, angels, can you clean all this energy off for me? And then go ahead and give it back to yourself. Right? So let's do that again. Make a big gold magnet, some kind of object, 3D object that calls back all your innocence energy, wherever you left it, in the past life, in the future, wherever. And just call it back to the present into this object that you made, your magnet. And then, angels, can you clean it all off for me? And then give it to yourself. One more time, call back your innocence energy into a big gold magnet. Angels, can you clean it off for me? Give it to yourself. And also along those lines of helping innocence, we'll do quick inner child healing for dreaming big and for focusing. So just imagine the wounded inner child parts of you that are most in the way of you dreaming big and focusing. So these inner child little parts of you could look, I don't know, all sorts of different ways, different moods. You don't have to worry so much, but you can make little gold play areas for each of these wounded inner child areas that if you heal them, it'll help you dream big and focus. And then just say hi to all these little child parts of you. Hi, hi, hi. And then just use lots of gold light and say, it's okay, it's time for healing. And, you know, try to be comforting and just use lots of gold light. You can bring up red earth energy. And these are just parts of you, so it doesn't count as a group healing. So bring up red earth energy and lots of gold light. And say, it's okay, it's time to heal. It's all right, you're safe. And so you're just healing your inner child parts of you that if you heal them, it would really help you to dream big and to have more focus. And if you healed all those inner child parts, you can put forward more inner child parts that are still healthy and gentle to clear, to heal. More inner child, wounded inner child parts of you If you heal these inner child parts of you, it'll really help you dream big and have focus, right? So then just use lots of gold light and heal these inner child parts of you. Say, hi, it's okay, it's time for healing. Bring up red earth energy, soak these parts of you in red earth energy. Just say, hey, it's okay, this is just some earth energy. It's okay, you're safe. Just lots of gold light. And generally, once you finish healing these parts of you, they'll sort of dissolve and you'll get back your energy in the present. And so you won't have the energy stuck in the past like that anymore. So you can just say, if some of these parts did not finish healing, you say, angels, can you help me finish healing these parts? All right, so now we'll just do a quick regrounding and a quick comb through. Lots of gold light everywhere. And we can do a quick chakra alignment. So imagine your creative ring, your auras, your gold buffer zones, your auras, your creative rings, all your major chakras, and just run gold light through your creative rings and your major chakras, and just let the chakras line up. The major ones along your spine line up in a straight line, and use more gold light so they do. And then the magnetic fields around the chakras, around those major chakras, let those line up and click together. The more you use gold light, you may need to do it extra for the lower chakras, those magnetic fields. And just a little bit of extra gold light for all your body. Your shoulders, your hips, your legs. All right, so as we finish up, say, angels, can you help me finish up? Can you give me a healing? All right, good job. That's a healing. You're amazing. Woo, woo, good job. All right. Hold on, let me say hi to my dog. How about now? My dog is having as many problems as the internet is. Anyway, so I hope it's better now. Oh, good, it's better now. So basically, all I did is I ended the session, and then I read I ended the healing. And so I hope you heard the end of the healing. If you didn't hear the end of the healing, we did call back innocence. We did inner child healing to help the theme. And we did a quick chakra alignment. And then we ended the healing. So if that didn't record, that's what it was. And I'll put it in the healing summary, what I actually did, and I'll note if it was not in the video, but hopefully it was. But anyway, then I ended the healing. I did my yay, we're done. And then I got up because my dog was freaking out for a second. And then I read one question about someone who mentally blanks out when they talk to their mom and they can't hear her when she's talking, really. And part of it is those distortion blocks. So keep clearing the distortion blocks, but also the indie grounding, being able to have grounding that someone doesn't just step right into, and like throw a lot of their energy into. That's another problem that person has. So heal inner wounds at your mom chords, clear the distortion block. Let's see. Went out again. Ah, here we go. We're back. My husband was having this problem in his live stream recently, and I was saying that they should do a drinking game and have a shot every time you can't hear me, but I don't want to encourage drinking in this live stream because we're trying to get more present and clear out. So maybe have a drink of herbal tea every time the connection drops. All right, so I'm glad you're back. It must be our flaky internet. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna have a drink to celebrate the flaky internet. Drink of honey rooibos tea. Anyway, okay, well, I will try to read another question. Hopefully you'll hear it. So Mrs. Thanks so much. I was at a gathering on Sunday where an ex-friend was. This person still upsets me, and I've worked inner child and resentment towards her. Would today's techniques help me have less competition, resentment towards her? I rarely see her, but she still pisses me off, LOL. I also got whacked pretty hard yesterday, and I know I had chakra damage. Is all that healed? Okay, try to be a little more concise with questions. That was a lot, but anyway. Between you and that person, I mean, again, watch the whole passive language, you know, she pisses me off. It just doesn't lend itself to empowerment and figuring out what's going on, because it's like, it's as if she's doing something versus there's something, you know, try to focus on what's happening within you when you are aware of her, when you interact with her, when you even just think of her, what happens within you, because that's really how you're affected. You know, maybe she does is like, boohoo, she pisses me off. You know? Okay, so anyway, yeah, I would just clear a lot of repressed anger. It has to do with a past life, though. It doesn't have to do with what she did in this life. That when you knew her, and that's, you know, that can happen. Like, say somebody really, you know, did something that you decided was massively offensive in a past life. If you don't clear that, you could meet that person again in another life. Just that, because you're so stuck about that person and you're so resentful and pissed, that actually could get that person to meet you again in another lifetime. So it's really good to clear it, so then you can stop meeting that person in different lifetimes. So there's that. So yeah, just specifically past life baggage that gets triggered when you're around her. I don't think she's doing anything particularly advanced, you know, to mess with you. You know, she's just to dump energy in your space, but it's nothing like, you know, really complex. It's just that you have past life stuck energy, grudges, resentment, pent up anger about her specifically. All right. You seem fine right now. Yeah, but you just got the healing. So, I mean, your front, first and second layers are a little too tight there, so you could do tummy meridians, unblock those, and right in front of your belly area. So do tummy meridians and the auras right in front of tummy meridians. Just do more unblocking there. All right, so it says, hi Janet, thank you for healing me and my spouse today. Yes, I did follow along a little. Do let me know any distortions I need to be aware of and any blocks on the theme, i.e. dream big and focus. Well, typically with distortion stuff, there's so much that you would just keep clearing, you know, because there's like all sorts of different things. You know, it could be interesting for you to compare the level of distortion that you have when you hear your wife versus when you hear your daughter versus when you hear your son. You know, like maybe put a percentage on it. Like, oh, okay, when my wife talks to me at this time, I have 20% distortion, you know, so I'm hearing, my accuracy is distorted by 20% because of my inner distortion blocks that I can clear. Right now, when I hear my daughter, you know, I have 40% distortion blocks that I can clear, that are, you know, destroying the accuracy of how I hear my daughter's communication to me. And when I hear my son, I have 50% distortion blocks. So, you know, it just may make it more interesting as you work. You could compare, like, you know, like sometimes if you want to have, this is not you in general, it's just, you know, not you specifically, but sometimes about new friends, like people might misperceive or have distortions around, you know, like the intentions of potential friends or the intentions of current friends. And so you could look at that too, like what are your distortions? And you don't have to know what they are. You just see them as, you know, junk and clear it. So you don't really have to dial down to too much detail to clear a lot. All right. Someone says, hi, Janet. Do you have any advice regarding son's sleep at night? And you're mentioning his age and his name. Thank you. He wakes up every few hours. He'll nurse, then go back to sleep. I'm thinking I've enabled this pattern. Well, the first thing I check for is chakra damage, but I don't see chakra damage with him. Craving damage, no. Aura damage, yeah, I would say he does have some significant aura damage in the back left and back right. Sort of like these pockets of damage right there and right there. So that's something you could end up here. So I would say aura damage if I'm checking the 4 essentials. Also, the back of his grounding is pretty blocked up. So then you can sort of intuitively check too, because boundaries issues with adults, you know, is a thing for infants, you know, because infants don't really have strong boundaries. So if someone's like, oh my gosh, you know, I hope our child doesn't get COVID, they could, you know, oh, I hope my granddaughter doesn't get COVID. She could just, the grandma could be just jumping right into space and causing a lot of blocks. So you can just check, you know, okay, here's my kid. Are there any major boundary issues with any adult? You know, and just double check. You know, and wash the adults out of your kid's space. Because I think the blocked up grounding is probably initiated by somebody in the family, the extended family, like kind of jumped into the kid's space a little too much. But in the meantime, you know, you can just unblock the back of the aura and the grounding of your kid. So I would say aura and grounding work. The chakra filaments of, yeah, just heal the chakra filaments to let them expand and flow better. Melt cords going into them. So chakra filaments are the connections between 7 physical chakras and 7 astral chakras. And that helps with good sleep a lot. So the whole I've enabled this pattern, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I think you could just do it on an energy healing level. Address it that way. Someone says, thank you for healing me. I've been working on enjoying and relaxing. Yeah, I do have some videos on that. And I do feel the shift. Oh, nice. Clearing pinned up anger was relatable. Penned up anger. Yeah, pent up anger. When it comes to cleaning with my husband, especially dishes. He has the old-fashioned type of marriage mentality. When I am more up to date with equality, do not mean to make it rhyme, haha. Any angel advice? Well, you could do energy healing flowers for him, because I think for him, I mean, yeah, you could say, okay, he's been sort of brainwashed that women should do housework and dishes. But I think it's a little deeper than that. Like, he has heart chakra resentment baggage around like betrayal and being taken advantage of, and, you know, things being unfair. So you could You could give him, you could make energy healing flowers of, just universal healing energy that your husband, that might help your husband to, be more lighthearted around housework in general. And then just have the angels check them and then lay them at a comfortable distance way in front of your husband's aura, and just do that over time. Like maybe if you think of it, every day for a week or something. But definitely have the angels check them and put them outside of the front of his aura, like, maybe 6 feet in front, and just say, hey, here you go. The angels checked them. If you want them, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine. So yeah. Hope that helps. All right. Someone says, hey, Janet, I've been great, but pent-up anger, grief around doctors' malpractice, my late mother's illness and death got triggered by first aid training I had to do. I'm still unmoored by it. Advice? Well, doctor malpractice and all that is an interesting thing because, I had a friend who was, in his early 80s when he passed. And as part of his exit, there was a lot of inappropriate care, like error, human error, by the healthcare practitioners that were taking care of him, like in several ways. There was technically negligence. But he died, but you don't die, you die when you're meant to die, like, because the angels are in charge of that. So human beings can, pull the trigger or, give you improper medical care or something, but it won't kill you if it's not meant to kill you, so maybe just try to remind yourself of that, like that, humans we don't really have the power to kill someone that's not meant to be killed at that time, so yes, these people were a part of your mother's exit for certain divine reasons, but they didn't call, it's not like she would have had 10 more years, like she didn't take your mother specifically did not take an early exit. She went to the end of the road that she was, that had been planned for her. People can take early exits, but even when they do take an early exit, it's angel approved and they request it. And there's this whole process to make sure they really want it on a spirit level, so that's not like a gunman or a negligent doctor has no power to make someone take an exit early or, the latest possible. They don't. They can be a part of the details of it, but they don't have the power to make it happen. So hopefully that can help you to just sort of put it into context. And typically someone's manner of exit, it's like it could help people around them learn and evolve, or it could help them learn and evolve, or it could just be part of a bigger plan in some way. So, your angels, as far as I can see, just keep saying, let it go, let it go. Like they show me like lawsuit papers and they just push them off your table. They're like, no. Because they're like, it's not a part of your path. But, you can look for yourself. And I don't know if you even are considering legal action, but it looks like they just write out distraction and that you need to get rid of the resentments. Otherwise it can cause illness in people, if you have all that resentment and resistance and everything. So anyway, hope that helps to just sort of put it into context. You can, because it looks like your siblings are kind of, stuck to varying degrees about it all, and their energy's on your spiritual path about it. So you can just, use gold light and wash everyone off your spiritual path so that you can have better access, and here too, between your 7th and 8th chakra, just wash out your siblings so that you have access to what's your path and what's your role in this world and in that context, and what's not beneficial for you or necessary for you. you know, because your mom's in heaven and she's totally fine. You know, she wasn't like people's method of exit. It's you know, it doesn't last. It doesn't have a lasting harm on them unless they got stuck about it. But if they don't get stuck about it, it doesn't have lasting harm. Like in my last life, um, I I was I was shot by a home invader, but it was my time to go. Like it was literally the last possible minute or second even that I could have had. So it was just a method of exit, you know. So I don't have any lasting resentment towards the person. You know, I barely knew them. You know, it is what it is. It's just my method of exit. So you know. Nobody's shortened my life. You know, people that don't know, that observe from afar, they might be like, oh, how tragic. She could have had so much more time, and blah. You know, but no. Like that's not the way it goes. Like it's between you and, you know, your higher power and the angels. You know, that's it. People do not get other people do not control that. So hope that helps. If it doesn't, you know, after a good night's sleep and some journaling, you could post under a video if you want me to look at it again. So it says, thank you very much, Janet. I healed myself along with you. I am terrified of dreaming and can't imagine best case scenarios for myself. It's okay with neutral things, though. Why is that happening? Terrified of dreaming and can't imagine best case scenarios for myself. Well, you could start small, you know, like with building muscles, you know, you start with the small weights. You don't start with some big weight that's too big for you, right? So dreaming in a tiny way, you know, maybe you can dream about like, okay, of the tea that's in your house right now, what would be the most amazing cup of tea that you could make for yourself today? You know, and then achieve it, you know? And so that would be like a baby dream, you know? Or like, you know, when you're getting dressed in the morning, of the sweaters that you have that you could wear, what would be the most inspiring color for you to look down and have on your body that day? You know, so it's like these little micro dreams, you know? Yeah, so I would just say start small. The whole I'm terrified of dreaming. Maybe just do some inner child healing for that. Just imagine one at a time, you know, just a little inner child part of you that freaks out about getting, you know, thinking about the future, and just give these little inner child parts of you healings. Just, you know, bit by bit over time. Someone says, great healing, thank you. Oh, good, I'm glad. Glad you liked it. Someone says, thank you for the healing. You're welcome. Someone says, thank you, Janet. I loved this healing. I feel more present and joyful than I did before it. Oh, good. I loved clearing distortions. Very helpful. Good. Someone says, I think the live stream cut off. Yeah. Sorry about all that. I do pay plenty of money for good internet, but doesn't always translate into good internet. Someone says, I experienced that I'm an unworthy and defective person when around people, and that people judge me negatively and want nothing to do with me. How can I heal this? I healed myself during this video. Yes. You know, I think it might be nice for you to do little experiments, like for example, with the colors that you're wearing. You know, like, because I think they've done studies that like blue, you know, inspires trust, and, you know, different colors affect people in different ways. So you could just, you know, wear like some really bright, cheerful color one day around and see what that's like. Because I think I already have talked about turtle exercise with you, because that is good for helping so that there's nothing that you're kind of putting out there accidentally that's causing a negative interaction between you and others. So you haven't been working turtle exercise, you could definitely do that. But your angels are talking about just like experimenting and playing with it, and just, you know, experimenting with like colors that you're wearing of clothing and outerwear, you know, like a jacket, whatever people can see. Also, um, yeah, I would say fifth layer would be good for you too, because I think a lot of it is your inner voice, your inner thoughts. Like you have sort of a negative self-talk that interferes with you accurately perceiving people's perception of you and what people are saying to you, like on a spirit level. So like someone might be like, "Hey, I hope you have a good day," and you hear like, "Why did you do that? You're always a jerk," you know? Like you kind of you do have a bit of a negative like cloud that you carry with you, you know, your fifth. So there is a video, Janet Wright, fifth layer, fifth chakra healing. Number 5, fifth layer, fifth chakra healing. I'm outside, and that, because that would be nice for inner inner voice. Fifth layer, fifth chakra is communication with others, but also hearing your angels, also your own inner thoughts and peace of mind. There's another one too that your angels like. If you search Janet Wright Peace Now, because there is an audio, if that's better for you than a video. There's like an MP3 audio recording that you can download from my website. There's janetwrightreadings.com. There's a free meditations menu, and there's a Peace Now. There are like 3 pages of audio files you can download, any of them that you want. But it might be on the 3rd page of that free meditations menu. It's called Peace Now. It's pretty short, under 15 minutes, I think. But I turned it into a video at some point in the last few years. So if you search Janet Wright Peace Now on YouTube, you should be able to find it. And it has some nice, comforting photos as you listen to the audio of it. So anyway, yeah, I think it's more of like an inner climate thing. I don't think you're actually offending people that I can see. But turtle exercise is always good just in case, you know, for that. So if you search Janet Wright turtle exercise. So hope that helps, and you can let me know, post an update later after you worked on it for a bit and experimented. Your angels are also talking about smiling. Like, do you ever smile at yourself in the mirror? And do you smile at other people when you see them and meet them in the street? But they're talking about smiling at yourself more. Like, try to smile at yourself every day, like in the mirror. So anyway, more technical issues, yada yada. Someone says, I loved clearing repressed anger. Oh, good. Someone says you hear the dog loud and clear. Yes, good. Yes, that's a big part of our house. Someone says, hi Janet, I fall asleep, but can you dream to change the future? I am saying that because I read something about the status of tests before June 30th, and I'm thinking to what extent I work to change. That's a little confusing. What I mean when I mean dream big is not like a literal dream that you have when you're sleeping. It's, I mean, that could be related to it, I guess, but it's more of like, you know, the ability to be aware of what you might like, you know, in your life, and what you need, and you know, like have a sense of possibility, have an imagination, like a positive imagination of, you know, things you might like to change. And so it's more of a, there is astral work that you do with your angels, but anyway, so your question, I think, has to do with some kind of a dream you had about how you're going to do on the test, on a test you're going to be taking. But yeah, so Yeah, so I'm not sure. I mean, a lot of times dreams are just body dreams, so they're not future telling, dreams. I mean, you could have a message dream that your angels make you remember, so that's like a legit message, but most dreams are not that, and they're just, your own fears, and your body's turning them into movies as you're sleeping to try to clear them. But if it's recurring, then it's not working. You're not actually clearing the fears. So you could just work more on that. Just imagine them like blocks and blow them up or melt them. But yeah, you might be overthinking just some body dreams based on your own fears. Okay, someone says, loved this whole healing, including callback innocence. Oh, good. Yeah, and then we had more internet problems. And someone says, my mother is frequently in my space. I clear energy between us, and I can clear pent-up anger towards her. Any other suggestions? So one thing, just overview. I mean, my mom used to always be in my space, and I changed. She didn't change, I changed. So just so you know, like, again, to emphasize something I said, I think it was in the intro discussion part, the overview part. To have boundaries with people, you change. You don't like sort of hold your breath until they change. Just so you know. Because some people get that all backwards and they're like, oh, I just need to make my mother happy with me, or I need to make my friend happy with me, and then my life will be all peaceful. Nope, probably not. So anyway, you're talking about how you can have better boundaries with your mom, I think. Yeah, I mean, she can't be in different. I would say try to get specific about where is she in your space. What does she cord? Where does she hang out? There's certain aura layers. There's certain chakras. And wherever she goes, that is where you have a lot of energy blocks that you're not aware of and you're not clearing. So just like she's just finding where you're stuck. So just keep clearing the places where, she would be cording, or she could cord, or she could, She's pretty straightforward though. She'll just jump into, it's like, your energy blocks is like a big leaf pile that she wants to jump into. So just get rid of all your leaf piles that she jumps into. Yeah. So it's not necessarily about it's not necessarily your baggage about her. It's just your baggage, period. She sees where you're stuck, and those are easy places for her to jump in. So, and you can validate your progress too, because like before, when your mom was in your space, she might, have like 30% of her energy in your space at one time, but now she can only fit, like, even if she squeezes in real hard, she can only fit about 5% of her energy in your space. So that's a lot less, so try to validate your progress and just keep up the good work. Someone says, also, that the kangaroo pouch work that we did in the last set of healings, you could look back at that, clearing kangaroo pouch. I don't think it's in the title, because there's just the title space they give me is so short. But if you search generate kangaroo pouch, the healing itself was like healing 1 of 2 and 2 of 2, letting go on January 15th and January 17th of 2023. We did a good kangaroo pouch thing. Yeah, on both days. So is this feeling pretty hopeful this morning? Oh, good. It must be the theme. I missed a few things with the live stream with work. But can I ask if you are seeing anything from me that is of note? Your angels are just saying that you're having boundary issues with a coworker who's doing a little bit of like a hang out in your kangaroo pouch kind of an idea. So just, like I said to the person right before you, just do we did it in the last set of this room. You think of like, in this front area of like dumped energy, a lot of times there's like a pouch that kind of holds it in place. So you just empty out the pouch, get rid of all the energy in it, give it to your angels or something, and then just get rid of the pouch and give that to your angels, and just keep clearing this whole front area ear here, because that's where your coworker kind of jumps in. You could also just wash them out with gold light, for starters, but then keep getting rid of that little dumped area right here. So that it's just you. It's just you, and it's just flowing right there. Someone says, that's ironic. I can't hear when Mother talks, then I could not hear the answer you gave. I got most of the answer though. Clear blocks, indie grounding. Yeah, clear blocks, but also clear inner wounds. Your mom cords inner wounds. Some people only cord blocks. Most people, it's more common to only cord energy blocks, like stuck hard energy deposits in your space. A lot of people cord those, but inner wounds are more like, think of like, like a rotten piece of fruit, it's kind of like slishy and weird, and it's just like a vulnerable place, so it has baggage, but it's not as like crunchy and stiff. And those are the parts that your mom tends to cord. So you can just imagine like slashes out in front of you, the inner wounds that your mom is likely to cord, and just keep healing inner wounds. And then of course the distortion stuff, clear the distortion blocks between you and your mom. But yeah, the indie grounding was a big thing too. Just work that between you and your mom. Thank you, Janet. You're welcome. Someone says, thank you, Janet, about ex-friend issues. Sorry for the verbose questions. Yeah. So it says, hi, Janet. Thank you so much for the healing. I needed it. Any word from the angels? Yeah, I would do fifth chakra, fifth layer healing, or just even just fifth chakra healing, because you're yelling at your partner. There's like this constant scream that you're doing, like, ah! You're just kind of stuck on yell, like telepathically to your partner. So just heal your throat chakra so that you're not doing like a constant telepathy, and certainly not a constant yell. And then just, like chill out your throat chakra. You can work that, like I told the other person, work on, there's one called Peace Now. It's an MP3 on my website you could download, but also I converted it a few years ago to a short-ish video, like under 15 minutes, I think, on YouTube. So if you search Generate Peace Now, and it just has some nice relaxing photos while I talk about, working your inner peace. Because somehow, that's going to create some problems if you're just constantly screaming at somebody. I mean, you may have a reason to be angry, but yeah, your angels wanted to point that out. Someone says, hi, Jenna, thank you so much for your work. You're welcome. I came in halfway. I can dream big, but can't execute. Any advice would be much appreciated. You don't look present enough to, the more you are in your physical body chakras, like third chakra is about taking action. Fourth chakra is about wanting to take action, feeling motivated, like, I really want to do this, like your inner cheerleader, like, I can do it. Yes, I can. So that's fourth chakra, but third chakra is like literally getting off your butt and doing it, or, taking the first step to doing it, or finishing it. That's third. So you need to be present. I would say ideally you need to be at least in 7 through 3. And a lot of times when you are not taking action, you're only like in 7, 6, and 5. You're not in 4 and you're not in 3. So you may have enthusiasm, but it's sort of an out of body enthusiasm. And then, the execution of it is harder from out of your body. So I would say just work on your lower chakras, maybe do some stretching, try to think more about your legs and your feet, and because you're kind of like, it's almost like, I don't know if you have one, but some people have dream boards and stuff, and so they like have this, they're really attached to what they want, and it's sort of like this future, like this is exactly what I want, and they're not in the present. They're sort of hanging out in the hypothetical future that they want, but that's not really, from what I see, that's not how you create. You create by, yeah, sure, it's good to know what you want, but you don't actually have to know what you want consciously. You have to be present. And then it just kind of happens. It comes in and you make it happen. So you might not even need conscious knowledge, but you need, ideally, you would need as much flow and presence in your lower chakras, especially your third. So yeah, I would just like, I have a video, if you search Janet Wright sticky wax and the number 7, because there's this quick technique where you use sticky gold wax to unblock all your chakras, and you could especially do it for your lower chakras of your physical body, just to like, and then maybe some hip stretching, leg stretching, that kind of thing, just to, be a rooted tree. Don't be like the bird in the tree, be the tree, have roots, be in the earth. Just be in your lower chakras, and don't like hold on to the future so much. Be in the present. Like I said, conscious knowledge of what you want isn't even essential. So you can kind of put a check mark on that one. And just focus more on being here, and then what's the first step. And just get present enough that, you figure out a first step that's easy enough, and you just sort of feel this forward momentum. Yeah, so I hope that helps. So I would just say, yeah, get more present in your lower chakras, in your legs. I have a lot of stuff that would help with that, but yeah, I could go on and on. But anyway, you said later, LOL, like massive, but still end up staying stuck. Yeah. So dreaming big, dreaming massive is not so necessary. Like I said, you don't even have to know consciously what you want. I mean, really. That can help though, but yeah, that's the presence, being in the moment is more important, more effective. So yeah, work on unblocking your lower chakras and being more here, being more in your legs, hip and leg stretching, grounding. Like a lot of times your grounding is real skinny and narrow. Make it big and wide as your whole aura, and wide all the way down to the core of the earth. Like we do grounding and blocking at the start of all these healings, so you could kind of redo that section a bunch. Okay, hope that helps. Someone says, is there more energy I can clear surrounding hearing my angels and being able to visualize the list of things to learn in my current relationship? It looks like a long list with a few more things. Yeah, you don't have to like read details and details of like, oh, this is what I need to learn. It's just useful when you say like, okay, is there more that I have to learn with this person? Or, should I break up today? If you see there's a lot more to learn, there's more empty check boxes you haven't checked, then, then that means that there's more you can learn in the relationship. But if you're moving forward on your path, you're going to be learning what you need to learn. So you can just keep unblocking your spiritual path and see, am I moving forward today? Am I looking forward? Am I moving forward on my path? And just, work on making that easier. And the path, work on like, so it's so unblocked that you're moving forward quickly. If you see that you have a nice steady forward movement and it seems like it's easy when you visualize your path and you on your path, then that's fine. You're learning what you're meant to learn. You don't have to like nitpick it and know every little thing you're meant to learn. You're moving forward, you're learning what you're meant to learn. So I hope that helps. Yeah, so I don't think your hearing is a problem as far as learning what you're meant to learn. Just check your path, see if you're still moving forward at various times of your day or in general. So this is, thank you, Janet. Anything that your daughter and you need to focus on? We have both been exhausted. You healed us today. We'll watch replay. Thank you again so much. could work like 4-3-2-1, just a little more like chakra filaments between 4-3-2-1 and chakras 4-3-2-1, and just lighten them up a little. You should look a little heavy. It could just be, you know, recent illnesses and anxiety and stuff kind of weighing on your heart chakra, because it's like from heart chakra on down, it's sort of like, you know. So you could work on like, maybe like imagine like a gold bubble bath, you know, and just like scrub everything and just, you know, make everything a little more cheerful, you know, in the front and the back. Give yourself energy healing flowers for, you know, like unblock. It's just like a bunch of rocks in front here for both of you. It could be just a leftover energy triggered by recent illness or something, but yeah, just a little bit extra unblocking on 4-through-1. Just, you know, lighten it up. I think in previous days this week, your groundings, both your groundings were pretty blocked. So that's what contributed to the heaviness in the lower chakras. So, but right now you both received this healing, so your groundings are really fabulous. But, you know, that was, I would say, the main issue with you guys earlier this week. I mean, there may have been illness, etc., but then blocked grounding was the biggest thing. Someone says, oh, you're clarifying about your earlier question. It was not a dream. I was able to read, and I was questioning to what extent I can work my energy to change what I saw. Oh. Yeah, I don't read the future, so I can't answer to that. I mean, because it could be that you were not seeing the future accurately even. So I would say even that's a question that you can work through with your angels. Was that even accurate that you saw? But yeah, I don't read the future, so I can't really counsel you on that. I don't read the future because you can get stuck on stuff unnecessarily, you know, because it's like if your ship is headed north, you know, and you see that, you're like, oh my God, my ship is headed north. Whereas like, you know, maybe you're going to do some clearing and healing tomorrow, and that's going to change you inwardly, which therefore would change the direction of your ship. So, you know, the future is not set in stone. It's a creation from your inner, what's going on within you. So if you just keep working on yourself, then you change it, you know. So that's why I don't read the future for myself or for others, is because of that. Sometimes the angels might say something about the future to you or to other people, but yeah, I don't actually read the future myself. So this is any feedback on what I need more of. I ate a candy that was edible THC by mistake and didn't enjoy the experience. Understatement. Anything to help release panic from my body. Interesting. Well, just for context, for some people, I mean, there is all sorts of different edibles with THC, and there's all sorts of different kinds of marijuana. There's stuff that I don't do any of it because my life is way too trippy as it is. So it's not appropriate for me to do any. But my husband uses edibles, and there are people that do, or, you know, there are all sorts of different forms of marijuana, all different strains, and some are calming, some are more centering, some are make you sleepy, some make you more alert, you know. So maybe you got one that made you more alert, but for you it's like a jumpiness. But I just want to give that context, so people, if they don't know anything about it, they might think, oh, it's gonna make everyone anxious, you know, so I shouldn't do that because I'm already anxious, you know. It is not true. There's specific strains that do specific things. But anyway, so you're saying your body still has some type of panic left over. I mean, I don't know how recent you took it, because, you know, it wouldn't affect you for like a long period of time. So there could be just stuff that got triggered. You know, it wouldn't actually be the THC still in your system. But whatever, I'm going to look at right now. You just got the healing. Yeah, I would say what I said for one other person, just tummy meridians and unblocking in front of your tummy area, you know, your auras, all your auras in front of your tummy. Um, would be nice. Also, your mom is courting your first chakra and your Kundalini chakra. So I think that's probably the most primary thing that I'm looking at that is causing that jumpiness is your mom. I mean, it could be that she, on a spirit level, was really freaked out that you took THC. so it was like maybe you took a THC that was more to make you alert, which was not appropriate for you, but then your mom freaked out and like really made you anxious because she plugged her energy into your first chakra and your Kundalini chakra, and that's really what I'm looking at is your Kundalini's blasting because your mom's like running her fears through your first chakra and Kundalini chakra. I don't know if your mom's with you; she might not be with you, and that's kind of like some moms. That's like their worst fear that you're in trouble and she's not there to save you. You know. So yeah, just uncord your mom out of your lower chakras, especially your Kundalini chakra. You can turn your Kundalini off for a while too. Just until you get things calmed down. Someone says, Janet, thanks for all your suggestions. My mother is often behind me, so in the back of your auras, and corded to your back of your first and second chakras in the back. Yeah. So sometimes on days when you really have less boundaries with her, either she has managed to give you chakra damage in the back of first and second chakras, or you just have chakra damage for some other reason, like someone else threw energy at you. But if she gets in there real good, then she's anchored into the chakras themselves because you have cracks. The chakras themselves are damaged. But otherwise, she's just hanging out in blocked energy back here. But so check for chakra damage in these lower chakras, especially in the back, and the Kundalini chakra. Sometimes even your Kundalini chakra gets damaged in the back. And so that's a really, because then if she can plug in there, just like the other person, it can be really disturbing. So chakra repair and melting cords and melting blocks. So you're saying I did kangaroo pouch yesterday, so good. I'll keep working on this, and thanks for the compliment about my progress. Yes, of course. Someone says thank you with hearts. You're welcome. Someone says I already had my small dreams fulfilled. Think I was doing it intuitively, but I was not satisfied. Wanted something bigger. May it be that someone's in my space while I'm trying to enjoy myself. Well, yeah, I mean, you're around a lot of people in a constant state of anxiety, like geographically. You're around a lot of people that are freaking out. A lot of people. So, and that's true for anybody in like any major city. That's true. Although some places in the world, it's much more true than other places in the world, depending on economic situations, wars, all sorts of stuff, right? So you're around a lot of people who are freaking out. And so I think that you can train yourself to not let that affect you so much. I had to do that living in Chicago for so many years. Like Olympia, Washington, like the population is so small that you'd have to be a really out of control empath to be like stressed out by the people around you in Olympia because there are so many giant trees and so few people. But in Chicago, you have to get good at it, get good at not sponging up other people's freak out, their pain, their grief, their fears, their anger, their addiction energy, their, pharmaceutical energy, whatever, So I would just say keep working that. Just imagine a mini you and just think about, everyone around you's going through and just wash it out. You could do tricolor soaks, gold light, and just kind of talk to yourself and your body and just be like, hey, everyone around me is freaking out, but it's okay. Right now I'm safe. Today I have food, I have shelter, and I am grateful. Just rein it in. Just think about the present moment. Today I am safe. Right now I am safe. I have food, I have shelter, I have clothing. I am grateful. I have mobility. I can walk. I can think. I can write. I can do all sorts of things. I have so much capability and safety, and I'm so grateful. And just kind of practice resetting your energy and washing out all that stuff. Because, people end up sponging unless you train. Some people just naturally have learned not to sponge, but other people you kind of have to teach yourself and practice each day or whenever you think about it. So I think a little extra practice would be good with that. But it's not specific people so much anymore for you that are sort of raining on your parade. It's sort of just a mass freak out that is affecting you, but you can, like I said, just practice washing that out and calming yourself and resetting your own perspective for gratitude and being in the present. Someone says, yeah, was my first time and thought it was regular candy genuinely. Yes, thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, cool. You guys are amazing. And yeah. I guess it's a good note to end on. There are 2 more healings for this set on Sunday and Tuesday. And with the same theme, Dream Big and Focus. And then the twin set this month on the 19th and 21st is also the same theme, Dream Big and Focus. So it'll be nice to do all that good stuff. And I will, I guess, do animal cam so you can see the madness that ensues when I let out my dogs. Abel is the one that was making all that noise, and he's actually somewhat calm right now, so we'll see if he starts moving around or not. Okie doke. So those are my dogs over there. That one's Daisy and this one is Izzy. So I'll show you them now. Hey guys. Okie doke. So this is everybody. So that's Izzy with the big nose. That's Daisy with the little onesie there. And then that's Abel, who's ignoring me right now. Facing the other way. So see, the fact that everybody's calm right now, I know it's just the angels making them calm. So otherwise they'd be like, oh, let's go outside. Okay, well, you guys are awesome. Have a good day or evening or morning, whatever's next. And good for you for thinking about healing yourself. You're amazing. Woo, woo, woo. Go.